It was an ordinary weekday evening in a small American town. 15-year-old Michael was coming home from school as usual. He turned down a narrow alley that ran next to a sewer manhole. Michael was in a hurry, so he didn't notice how he fell through the open, rusty grate with his foot. The boy cried out in surprise and pain and tried to get out, but his leg was tightly clamped. He looked around for help, but there was no one on the street at that hour. Michael began to call for help, but his cries were drowned out by the noise of passing cars. Gradually it dawned on him. He was stuck here, alone, with no way to call for help. Suddenly, strange rustles and sounds came from the dark opening of the hatch. Michael froze, staring into the darkness. His heart was racing. He thought he recognized some movement in the depths. Suddenly, an ugly creature, like a giant rat with sharp claws and teeth, sprang out. The monster hissed and lunged at the boy. Michael tried to break free in terror, but the creature had already clawed at his leg. The pain was terrifying. The boy screamed with all his might, but no one came to his aid. More and more creepy creatures began to emerge from the hatch. Hideous creatures with deathly pale skin, sunken eye sockets, and huge mouths. Terror gripped Michael as he realized that these creatures were slowly surrounding him, preparing to attack. The boy tried desperately to free his leg, but to no avail. The monsters came closer and closer, making scary sounds. Michael squeezed his eyes shut, preparing for the worst. Suddenly, a loud voice came from somewhere above. "Hey! Are you okay?" Michael looked up and saw a grown man standing on the edge of the hatch. He looked down anxiously. "Help!" Michael shouted. "I've been sucked down the hatch. I'm stuck. There are horrible things in here." The man reacted quickly and ran for help. Soon, a car with flashing lights arrived at the manhole. Rescue workers. They quickly rescued Michael from the trap and sent him to the hospital. Doctors treated his bites and abrasions. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries. Michael was shocked by what had happened. He couldn't believe there were such monsters in the city sewer system. When his condition stabilized, the police arrived to ask about what had happened. Michael told everything he remembered about the strange sounds and the ugly creatures that surrounded him. The police officers took his words with doubt. They examined the sewer manhole, but found nothing unusual. In their opinion, Michael, frightened by the situation, simply mixed up or exaggerated something. Michael's parents were shocked, but seeing that their son was fine, calmed down. They wrote off what happened on the fantasies of a teenager. Michael himself was sure of what he saw, but no one wanted to believe him. He was afraid they would think he was crazy. Several days passed, but Michael could not get the images of these terrible creatures out of his head. He began to notice that strange incidents began to happen in the city. Homeless people disappeared. Mysterious footprints were found in the sewer manholes. Michael realized that he had to find out what was lurking underground. One evening, when his parents weren't home, Michael decided to return to the scene of his misadventure. Taking a flashlight and a respirator, he cautiously climbed down the manhole. As he descended the metal ladder, the young man tried to overcome his fear. But when he came down, he froze amazed by the picture. There was darkness all around, which was dispersed only by the faint light of a flashlight. The air was musty and filled with a stupefying odor. Michael cautiously shone the light around him and shuddered. Some kind of pulsating growths stretched along the walls like spider webs. They moved as if they were alive. The young man moved forward, trying not to make any noise. Suddenly, his foot hit something soft. Michael shone his light down and saw the mangled remains of a human body. He jerked back, barely holding back the urge to let out a gagging fit. His heart was pounding frantically. Michael moved on, trying not to look around. Soon, he found himself in a huge tunnel that appeared to be part of a vast sewer system. It was brighter here, with light coming through the grates high above his head. Suddenly, Michael froze, catching a glimpse of movement in the darkness. He stared intently until he recognized the silhouettes of several creepy creatures. They crawled leisurely along the walls, making low, grinding noises. Goosebumps ran down Michael's spine. He stepped back carefully, trying not to draw attention to himself.